Hi, my name is Leon Malonson. I've been posting up videos on the racism and the discrimination and the payroll fraud within Jefferson Parish Government Agency. I need y'all to take a look at my videos. The first one I posted up called Black Man Got Lynched about Jefferson Parish. I did my second video was Jefferson Parish Racism Conspiracy. I need y'all to look at that one. I need y'all to look at my third one, EEOC Conspiracy in Covering Up Racism within Jefferson Parish. I need y'all to look at that. Now the one I'm doing today is called Retaliation by the Jefferson Parish government against the key witness, Mr. Lionel Robinson, in covering up racism and payroll fraud. Now we are talking about Mr. Robinson being violated by the Jefferson Parish Government Drainage Department for being a witness in the case where Leon Malonson versus Jefferson Parish Drainage Department government. Mr. Malonson complained about racism, discrimination, and payroll fraud. It has been proven by public records, confirmed that Mr. Malonson allegation is true. Now, we're going back to Mr. Lionel Robinson from being retaliated against. First of all, let me introduce Mr. Lionel Robinson to you all. Mr. Lionel Robinson is the superintendent for the Jefferson Parish Drainage Department. Mr. Robinson worked there for 25 years, and Mr. Robinson was the Employee of the Year for 3 times. Mr. Robinson got recommendations of all kinds for his excellent, good performance. Now remember this employee that we talking about. Mr. Lionel Robinson now are being violated by the Jefferson Parish Drainage Department for being a witness in the case of Mr. Malonson versus Jefferson Parish Drainage Department. But anyway, the first thing that they did to Mr. Robinson when they first started retaliating against him, they started writing him up for insubordination. They stopped his raise and gave him poor work performance. Now that's retaliation. The second thing that happened to Mr. Lionel Robinson, his life was threatened twice. Mr. Robinson reported the incident to the Jefferson Parish Service Department. Nothing wasn't done. On August 25th, 2009, Mr. Lionel Robinson was assaulted at a disciplinary hearing by Mr. Phil Welch, a Jefferson Parish Human Resource Administrator. As a matter of fact, I need y'all to take a look at this police report where Mr. Lionel Robinson filed his complaint with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Department. Now, nothing wasn't done about that. Nothing was did about that. But anyway, he filed that complaint. Matter of fact, an ex-parish employee attorney, an ex-attorney for the parish, Amy Marie Vanderway, filed her complaint in the United States District Court about that corruption that's going on within Jefferson Parish. Matter of fact, Miss Amy Marie Vanderway mentioned Mr. Lionel Robinson in Section 32 of her complaint, where she talked about this African American was assaulted. But in this same document, it talks about Human Resource Director, Mr. Mendoza, how he called the sheriff and told the sheriff to not call the Jefferson Parish sheriff and told him not to let his officers who is stationed at the Yenny building not to take Mr. Lionel Robinson report. So Ms. Amy Marie Vanderway had that in her report showing that the allegation is true, that what happened to Mr. Lionel Robinson. Now, we're going to move on. Now, they took Mr. Lionel Robinson and they forced him out of his West Bank office and they put him on the East Bank. And it was a reason why they did him that. But they said they put him over there temporarily. They did this in 2009. Matter of fact, it is 2012. Mr. Lionel Robinson is still on the East Bank. But see, there was a reason why they did that. And the reason why they removed Mr. Lionel Robinson out of his West Bank office because they wanted to get to his file cabinet. And that they did. They took his file cabinet and his files and they destroyed it. And the reason why they destroyed it, because they wanted to cover up, not just only my case, but many other cases where racial discrimination and payroll fraud had took place. Matter of fact, Lionel Robinson and I went to file this complaint with Jefferson Parish District Attorney Office. And Jefferson Parish District Attorney Office alleged that they did an investigation. But no investigation wasn't done. Then I contacted the district attorney office, Mr. Paul D. Connick Jr. I contacted his office, and they say they forward their information to the United States District Attorney, also to the FBI. I contacted the United States District Attorney office, and the United States District Attorney office told me that they do not have such report from Jefferson Parish District Attorney office. So this was not but a fabrication. Mr. Lonnie Robinson was also told by a Miss Beverly Williams of Human Resource that they cannot overturn no wrongdoing. Personnel department cannot overturn no wrongdoing. But that's what they told Mr. Lonnie Robinson. Now, we are talking about the destruction, how they destroyed these public records to keep this information, to cover up this payroll fraud, to cover up this discrimination where black people are being discriminated against. Now, another thing happened with Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson was hospitalized. He had 2 aneurysms in his head, burst. In other words, 2 blood vessels burst in his head from the stress, from stepping forward as a witness, and all because of the discrimination. Mr. Lonnie Robinson's marriage was destroyed because of the discrimination. He lost his home because of this discrimination. This discrimination devastated Mr. Lonnie Robinson's life. We went to the appropriate agency to file our complaint, and we ran up against the wall of injustice. And that wall of injustice was discrimination. That discrimination, that entity, was in every agency we went to looking for justice. Now that tells you something wrong with this here. Just to keep this covered up. It made me realize that we are dealing with an entity, discrimination. Discrimination is a weapon of mass destruction. Discrimination is like a tool or a device that are being used by Jefferson Parish government to destroy black people's livelihood and their life. Look at Mr. Lonnie Robinson and Mr. Leon Malone, 2 African-American men. They are being forced into destitution, into poverty. Now, Mr. Robinson and Mr. Malone got to get it how they live. Now, that is a saying in the black community. But what they truly mean, that is, the laws of self-preservation has tied in. Let me give you the definition of the laws of self-preservation. Okay. The definition is the act or instinct of keeping oneself alive or unharmed. Let me tell you about an incident that happened in the 70s. I'll show you how deep the laws of self-preservation is. They had a passenger plane crash in the mountains. And those who survived, they looked around, wasn't no plane lights, no trees, nothing but ice. Ice and rock. That's all they had. And what they did was, they turned to cannibalism. The living started eating the dead. Now, these were white people. To say that's their natural behavior, cannibalism? No, that is not their natural behavior. Excuse me. They were forced into a situation and into a condition, into an environment where the laws of self-preservation kicked in. So they had to do what they had to do through any means that's necessary. In other words, they had to get how they live. That's what they did. Now, when you talk about discrimination, when discrimination is forced upon the people, and upon the people, as it is being forced upon black people, forcing them into poverty, forcing them into destitution, putting them in a poor condition. In many cases, they turn to drugs, crime, and alcohol. Why? Because they are being discriminated against. Discrimination are being used to deprive black people of proper medical care. Discrimination are being used to take away black people's human rights to exist. Discrimination is being used to put black men in prison by taking away their constitutional rights. Discrimination are being used to take away black people's opportunity as they allege and claim that we had. Discrimination are being used to commit genocide upon black people here in Jefferson Parish and all the way to Africa, violating black people. what Jefferson Parish is doing. Destroying black people's lives with this weapon of mass destruction. Any company or any agency demonstrates this type of behavior, they are committing a terrorist act. Discrimination is a terrorist act because discrimination destitutes, force people into poverty and destroy black people's lives. See, that's why it's very important that Jefferson Parish do not let this case get out of Leon Malonson versus Jefferson Parish, because it's going to show you discrimination on a high level and how it's destroying black people's lives. And that's why I have to let y'all know about this man, Mr. Lonnie Robinson, what he's going through. Also, what Mr. Leon Malonson going through, because Jefferson Parish trying to cover up this payroll fraud, this racial discrimination, and this white supremacy, knowing it's their hidden agenda, and they're using taxpayer money. Now I'm about to go, and I'm going to say this here. It shouldn't matter if you're black or white. It shouldn't matter your religion belief. It shouldn't matter whether you gay or you straight, but I say justice is for all. Now let's pray and bow our head for the pain and suffering of black people.